Hello my craft friends, Tracy here with Sweet Bay Lane. This video is going to be part 1 of a 4-part series where we're going to be DIY crafting everyday home decor. Now some of these projects are using hearts, but we're going to keep them neutral. That way it'll carry us through the Valentine's Day holiday and well into spring and beyond. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright my crafty friends, for this DIY we're going to need a few elements. We're going to need some greenery of our choice. And I'm going to be using some of this beautiful lavender looking stuff. And then these little green stems I purchased from, well this one I purchased from Walmart. And I'll show you the little stem there. Purchased that one from Walmart. And then this one I purchased from Michael's back when they had their spring sale back last year. So we got that. But our main piece is going to be our wood panel. Now you can do this on a regular canvas as well, but I just prefer using the wood because I think it's going to be better for what I have planned. But anyways, I purchased this from Hobby Lobby and it was on clearance, but they do still have these just in a different form. I think what they are is a little bit thinner, like a little bit thinner here. But anyway, they also have them at Walmart. So if you can't find them at Hobby Lobby, they have them at Walmart. And I'm sure they sell them on Amazon. I'll see if I can find some on Amazon for you guys if I remember. So hopefully I'll remember. I should. But how we're going to start is we're going to take some rope. I'm going to be using this rope, which I purchased from Hobby Lobby. Actually, no, I purchased this from Walmart. It was in their holiday time. And I got it on clearance with their Christmas clearance, so we'll need some rope. But you can also use the rope from the Dollar Tree too. So we're going to start with our rope. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a heart on our board out of the rope. So let's go ahead and do that. Now I'm wondering if I should just wing it or should I try and draw it on? So let me see. Maybe I will try and pencil it on there with a piece of paper. So let's see. Let's go ahead and try that. We're going to make our little template out of our paper. I think this will be the best way to do it, personally. And we want it to be, yeah, we want it to be about that big. So we'll find the center of our board. And then we'll just draw our heart like this. Like that. And I think that will be good. So let's go ahead and cut it out. And then what I'll do is I'm just going to take a pencil, make sure it's centered and straight. There we go, that looks pretty good. So then we're just going to take and outline our heart. Now this doesn't have to be perfect, it can be whatever it is. It doesn't have to be perfect once you see what we're going to do with it. Okay, there we go. So now we have our heart drawn on. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our rope and we're going to glue it around our heart design and make a rope heart. So let's go ahead and get doing that. Then when you get up to the top here, you're just going to pinch it. Anyway, so now see, you're just going to pinch that center there. Make sure that it's making a V. And then you'll just continue on with your heart. Then when we get down to the bottom of our heart, like that, you can cut it off. But what I'm going to do is make another row of the ropes. So now we have that done and we have what looks like this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our foliage here. We're just going to tear off a few little sprigs. And I'm going to glue my sprigs onto my heart, like right here and right here. Yeah, perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and do that now. All right, now we have that on. It looks so cute already. We're going to take some of our We're going to put that on there. Some of our lavender. And I don't know, am I going to do the whole piece of lavender like that? Yeah, I think that will be cute. Let's do it. Now that we have this side done, I'm going to add a little bit over here just to add a little more fun to the project. So let's go ahead and glue this down. And then you have this beautiful little heart. And this can be for every day or it can be for Valentine's Day. What do you guys think? Would you add ribbon to it? Would you add something else to it? Now you could also add a little home down here. That might look cute. Let me get a wood cutout and see what that looks like. Hold on 1 second. Like I said, you could use a home cutout right there, which I think would be super cute, add a little dimension to it. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little stencil that I made with some shelf liner and my silhouette cameo, and we're just going to stencil the word home right here. All right, so now we have our stencil done. We're going to peel that. Oh yes, I think it looks so good. It does look so good. I love it. And then you have this perfect finished piece. What do you guys think? Don't you love it? I do. Oh my goodness, it turned out so cute. I love it when projects turn out way better than you plan. So cute. All right, now we're moving on to our next DIY. For this DIY, we're going to be using some of this greenery. I purchased this from Michael's and I purchased this from Hobby Lobby. You'll also need a frame. I'm going to be using this 8x10 frame and I'm just going to be repurposing it. It was from an old project and I'm going to be repurposing it. And you'll also need a piece of scrapbook paper. And I'm going to be using this beautiful like linen kind of pattern. So we're going to start by taking our frame apart. And you'll see like I had paper stuck to it. We're going to take this out, which is its frame. We're going to take the glass out. We're going to set it aside here. I'm going to take this and set it aside in the frame. And we're going to glue our scrapbook paper to our panel. And I'm going to do mine with some school glue by Elmer's. So let's go ahead and get that done. And then once we have it glued on, we're going to just trim around the edge. And I'm just going to do that with some scissors. All right, now we have that glued on. We are going to take a pencil and we are going to draw an initial. And I'm going to draw a T on mine. So let's go ahead and do that. That looks good. Now we're going to set that aside. Once we have our initial on there, we're going to take our greenery. We're going to take our hydrangeas and we're going to turn them into little flowers. Now you can also buy flowers, little flowers if you want to, but I'm going to be using these because I love the color and I love hydrangeas. So I'm going to be taking them apart. Let me show you. I'll show you one and then I'll just do them all and it won't make you sit through all of this, but I'm going to take 3 of them. And this is how I build my hair accessories for my wedding hair pieces that I make for people. And you just build your flower. And it's so cute. I love doing this. It's so much fun. And then you just glue. And then you just alternate the little petals. And sometimes they're a little rough around the edges and you can just take your scissors and trim them. Yeah, and that kind of makes them look cuter, more clean. But Then you have what looks like this, your little petal, and you're going to take some centers of some sort. You can use rhinestones or pearls, but I'm going to be using these flat back pearls. And then you'll glue it right in the center. And then you have this little flower. So now let me make a bunch of these and then we'll continue on with our project. We have our flowers made. How cute are those? I love that. Then we're going to take our board that we drew our T on, and we are going to glue our flowers onto our initial that we drew out in pencil. So let's go ahead and do that. Now I'm going to start on the ends, both ends of my T, just so I can make sure to get them straight. And then you have what looks like this cute little flower initial. But we're not done yet. We're going to add some greenery to it. And I'm just going to be cutting my greenery up into smaller pieces and then just gluing them in along the flowers like that. Hey, if you like what you see so far, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And just remember, you can make this as big or as little as you like, depending on the florals. Look at how cute that is looking. I am so excited. Okay, now we have our greenery in there, and look at how cute that is looking. How fun is that? Now let's get our frame back in here. And then we have a great little piece. I think that looks so pretty, and you can use any frame you choose. But if you're gonna do the glass on the front, you need to figure out the depth of the frame that you want, like the matte, because you want to let the florals have a little room to kind of do their thing in there without being smushed. But I think it turned out so cute. And you could spell out words with this. I think that would be pretty in like a child's room, a little girl's room. I think that would be so pretty. For this DIY, we're going to be making a rustic piece of home decor. And my base is going to be this wood piece along with this wooden heart. You're also going to need some leather or plastic leather, and I purchased this at Joann's back in the day, but you can also purchase this online at Amazon, so I'll have that link below for you. And you'll also need some paint and a candle or a piece of old wax. And then I'm going to be using this same trim that we used in our other DIYs. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to set this aside, and we're going to start with this piece. And we're going to start by painting it brown. And this brown I'm using is by Anita's, and it is called dark brown. So you can just use any dark brown. I don't even think they make Anita's paint anymore, so just whatever you prefer. And we're going to paint it brown. Now we have it brown. Let's set that aside. We're going to take our wax, our candle, and we're going to rub along our piece of wood. And you'll get the top and the sides and the bottom. You'll get every place. And you can even do the back side, but I'm not going to do the back side. So now that we have our piece waxed, and we're going to paint it white. And you don't have to do a solid white on it. You can do kind of like a rustic paint job here. Does not have to be perfect at all. I don't know if you can hear my new neighbors talking. We got new neighbors, but they don't have a dog for Miss River to look at. But they're young guys and they're down here caddying for a golf course in the area, so they're out there swimming and talking and doing all the things, so River finds that interesting too, I guess. She's so funny. All right, and then I'm just going to distress the back side as well. She's a very, very nosy dog. Very nosy. Very, very nosy. All right, so now we have that painted white, and we're going to let that dry completely, and then we'll continue on to our next step. We're going to take this heart and we're going to cover it with this Western style leather print. So let's go ahead and cut out a piece. Cut this off as well. And then we're going to glue it to our heart. And to do that, I think I'm going to use hot glue. I think that'll be a better option maybe. We'll just do it around the edge and then we'll press it in. Uh-oh, here comes River back. She's going to bark at the boys. She's gonna bark at the boys. Oh boy. Oh, here we go. Hey, Dada. No. It's okay. River, stop, honey. They're fine. They're allowed to be there, ma'am. Believe it or not, they're allowed to. All right, hold on. I gotta get this situation under control. Okay, she's out of the room now. She's so funny. All right, now we're going to take and we're going to trim around our heart. And I'm just going to use my scissors to do that. Okay, so now we have our heart covered in our faux leather, which I think that is so beautiful. I love this faux leather. I want to do more DIYs with it. I also found some beautiful faux leather on Amazon that I'll link. It's so pretty. All right. Shh. Now we have our dried board that we painted brown, then we waxed, then we painted the white over the wax. And we have our leather, faux leather covered heart. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take some sandpaper and we are going to sand our piece of wood. And what that's going to do is that wax is going to be a perfect repellent for the white paint, and we'll get this nice distressed look. Don't you love that? Do you not love that? I love that so much. I'm sorry it's so bright. It's blowing it out, but it looks so good. And then we'll do that on all the sides. And then we'll leave the back just distressed like that. I think this looks perfect. I love that. It really looks like it's been there forever. Now I'm going to wipe mine off on my on my apron. That's perfect. Now we're going to take and glue. We're going to take and glue our leather heart to the center of our wood piece. All right, so here's what we have. I think that looks so cute. Now, you can do a few things with this. I was thinking of taking some of this trim and outlining the heart. What do you guys think? Would you do that? I think I'm going to. That looks super, super cute. So let's go ahead and do it. All right, so now we have what looks like this. What do you guys think? Should I stop there? Should I add a bow? I don't know. I think I'm going to stop there. I think it turned out so cute. And then it's like a little sitter for your decor.